This era, CDMs, for those who, okay, once you are listening to this, you know who a CDM is basically, by a central defensive midfielder. Right now, CDMs are on the rise, and everybody is, at first you wouldn't really know the role of the CDM, or there are those people that when they are playing, Charlie, you don't see them, but without them, you'd realize that they are missing in the team. Yeah. We are going to have a discussion about CDMs, because it's been crazy of late. Busquets and Rodri, they are similar CDMs. These guys play more with flair, more with, like someone who say, they play with brains. They play with their brains rather than depending on strength. They are calm on the ball. Then Casemiro and Kanti, another set. These guys are just aggressive, running around. Charlie, they are just sliding people. And it's appreciated. It's appreciated. So today we are going to have a fair and honest conversation about them, about possession style CDMs and aggressive CDMs. So let's hear from our guest Samuel. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, so thank you for inviting me for another episode. And let's get into it. So me personally, I don't think Rodri and Busquets are the same. They are cut from the same cloth. But I just think Rodri is not press resistant, basically. And I feel like Busquets is the king of press resistant football.
Yes,
When I
but
look at
okay,
Rodri,
Sorry, sorry for interrupting, but I'm not. You see, Rodri is young; he's still learning. So
my guy, you guys have been saying this thing for years, but this
come
is
on,
Rodri. This is Rodri's
Rodri.
prime.
No,
This is Rodri's prime.
he's still learning. Busquets has done it for years. Rodri,
Busquets was
Rodri,
always press resistant.
Rodri is now learning. Like, look at what he did recently.
How old is Rodri?
Rodri is like 27.
So this is his prime. There's no.
No,
This is the best football he will play.
for CDMs, they are more sensible as they grow.
He can play for longer, but I don't think you improve from that. I think this is best self. But you continue.
Yeah, I'm not saying Rodri is on the same level as Busquets. I'm talking about the playing style.
Play style.
Yes, that's why I said possession based and aggressive.
No
yeah, so please
me personally,
don't kill my star boy, please.
Me personally, I think let's focusing on the major picture, which is possession based versus aggressive style, ball winning defensive midfielders, I'll call them. I think it's based on preference. I think is who you have in your team around those guys and the job you want that CDM to do. When you look at the roles of possession-based CDM, they're supposed to give stability, I think, in terms of shape, where if you want to play out from the back, or even when you are defending, where you want to be when your team is defending, or when your team wants to progress the ball, and then ultimately find yourself in space to then receive maybe from the defense and facilitate it to the attack or to the creative players, or interrupt play if you're on the defensive side of the ball. Now, I think Busquets all these four players we have mentioned do this very well. I think three of them will forever be in the books as some of the best DMs. I don't buy the Rodri hype, but maybe when he grows. But we know that at least three of them are solidified Hall of Fame CDMs. But me personally,
On what basis?
I mean, like you said previously, we know what Busquets has done in a solid Barcelona team. He has won trophies. He has been consistent for a long period of time. And he does his job very well. And he plays simple football, which is ultimately what you need from a defensive midfielder, somebody who knows their job and somebody who executes it well. Then there's Casemiro, who has won Mr. Champions League himself. He has won titles, La Liga titles. He has won all there is to win, except the World Cup, really. And he has decided to come and have a new challenge in Manchester United. And
It's not working out.
that is not true because, contrary to what people predicted for him, Rodri, he was for most parts of last season, he was the best DM in the
Oh,
Premier
come
League.
on, come on. That's
Easily.
not true. That's not
Easily.
true. That's
And it's
not
not,
true.
why
That's
are
not
we all
true.
pretending? Man City didn't start the season well. Rodri, first, it was Casemiro and Partey conversation. You people, Ghanaians included, try to make it seem like Partey and Casemiro are mates. Rodri, Partey, and Casemiro, they are not mates. First of all, let's get that out of now. One is declining, one is this one. But when this is a Champions League winner coming to Manchester United, and people were talking as if it's just some random free agents we picked from the street to come and play football. He knows what he's doing. And for most parts of this, for large parts of last season, was Partey going injured. And Rodri was not doing well to the end of the season. Let's be honest. You're a City fan. Let's be honest. So for large parts of last season, Casemiro was the best DM in the Premier League. At whatever age you guys want to laugh. Fine. So his pedigree speaks for himself. Then obviously there's N'Golo Kante, who with Vardy and Mahrez did something in the Premier League that probably won't be replicated in our lifetime. And then moved on to Chelsea to do their business at a higher level as well. So I think these three have proven themselves. Rodri, I think, will get there because he's in a Man City team. I think they win a lot. They win a lot of trophies. They play a lot of good football. So if he keeps up this consistency for another 3-4 years, he can easily also be in that Hall of Fame certified category. But going back to the debate, I do prefer ball winning CDMs just because I think they make their presence felt more. As a Man City fan, I'll take you back to Fernandinho, who I think is better than Rodri. I don't know what you think, but
Interesting.
I do think a ball winning center, a ball winning DM who is not bad with the ball. There are some ball winning defensive midfielders who are bad with the ball.
Casemiro.
Example, Fred, cool down, relax, cool down. Fred, McTominay. Yes, as a DM, your job is to give the ball to the creative players and the attacking players to do their thing. But at the same time, if those channels are cut, I expect my DM to carry the ball or to make a line-breaking pass. Fred and McTominay can't do that. But when I look at Casemiro and I look at the likes of Casemiro and Fernandinho, I think they are very similar in the sense of in possession of the ball. I do think that they can defense breaking pass, or they can break lines with their pass, or they can carry pass here. Not only did Casemiro become a very integral part of our team, he scored goals, he assisted. He had like 5 goals, 6 goals, and then a couple of assists, which from his position, we don't expect that from him. So we'll definitely take that as a bonus. Rodri did the same as well. And Kante used to occasionally get forward and get a goal. Like I said, I prefer more ball-winning DMs because I think they make their presence felt. I want a DM to be physical, to be aggressive, to tackle, to leave a print on the game. With some of these more possession-based DMs, their presence is felt, but not on a physical level. The game is obviously both tactical and physical, and I feel like for the likes of Busquets and Rodri, their brilliance is more tactical than physical, and that's fine because then again, I was in the beginning. I said it depends on who you have around you. Busquets was in a formidable Barca defense. I think Man City's style of play suits Rodri. He doesn't really have to do the dirty work. When Man City was building up and they needed a guy to do the dirty work in the earlier years of Pep, Rodri could not. I don't think Rodri could have, or Busquets could have done that
But
job.
but 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 Reggie is not just tactical. Reggie is physical as well. Reggie is
Oh,
physical.
come on, bro.
Oh,
You
Let's
think
be
Rodri wins the ball? Rodri's not a ball winning midfielder. He can occasionally win the ball.
Rodri wins the ball. If you watch our matches, he wins the ball. His interceptions and everything are also on point.
But he's not a ball winning midfielder.
He
Casemiro and Kante are ball winning midfielders.
Casemiro and Kante are aggressive. You know, being a ball winning,
Ball winning
I
midfielder.
think we should separate ball winning midfielder from aggressive ball winning midfielder. I think we should
No,
be
but do you think Busquets is not a ball winning? He doesn't win the ball.
fair, fair, fair. That's fair.
And if this argument is to pair Busquets and Rodri as similar style players, Rodri intercepts sometimes, but because of Man City's play, he doesn't have to be around being a ball winning midfielder like Kante and Casemiro. That's my point.
Just
He
that's
can win
fair.
the ball. If as a DMDA, because passes into the 10 are always risky passes. Your 10 has to be very spatially aware. So as a DM, even if you are not a ball winning DM, obviously you have to get some interceptions and some tackles. You have to get some yellow cards for professional fouls and stuff like that. That is required of any person in that position. But when we talk about winning the ball is my job, Rodri is not really that guy. Also because Man City has 90% of the possession in almost all their games. So
That's
like I
fair.
said, the team around you is very important for which style defensive midfielder you want. But
Okay.
I prefer a physical, a presence midfielder.
Now that's fair. That's understandable. Now let me try and explain to you why I think you prefer that. And I
Me.
yes, let me try and explain to you. So now this I think you need to get your books out so that I explain everything to you.
See this guy.
Taking you to school. But yeah, basically let's look, you are, of course, you are United fan. So let's look at United's CDMs over the years. So
Mm-hmm.
let's name them. So let's say 2007. You were young by then, but 2007, who was your CDM?
2007. I think Keane was phasing out at that point. But
Okay,
it should be Keane.
let's even start from Roy Keane. Let's start. You have Roy
Roy
Keane.
Keane.
Then later you came to get
I'll say
Fletcher, Carrick.
Fletcher Carrick.
You
I'll
get it.
say sometimes Scholes was asked to play deeper.
Schools. Wonderful.
Um,
So
Matic more recently.
Matic. Okay, brilliant, brilliant.
Yeah.
So let's even end with these guys. Roy Keane, Fletcher, Carrick, Schools, Matic. Do you see something? Do you see a trend in the type of DMs you've had over the years?
Yes, we
They
have
are
very aggressive ball winning workers in our midfield.
exactly. So United have had aggressive CDMs in the past, which is why
Mm-hmm.
I think you are leaning towards the aggressive type, because I think that's what you've been um you've been accustomed to now. That's what you've been
I
exposed to.
don't I don't think it's really. I agree with what you're saying. Obviously, the more you see, the more inclined you are to
Exactly.
swing one way.
So
But
obviously,
I do think that I just like, from my perspective, I like midfielders who get around. Because watching, if you ask me, I used to always have that debate. Started respecting, in all honesty, I only started respecting Busquets later on in his career. Because then I realized, now that he's not young and he can't be everywhere, he's really using his brains to play the football.
and
It's a
and
tactical masterclass.
and
But
that is sorry,
Bus
and that is understandable because of the exposure you had, because of the type of DMs your club had over the years. It's understandable. Look at Daniel here supports us now. Let's hear from Daniel, who have been your DMs
that guy.
over the years.
As I can remember, I think Patrick Vieira
Okay, wonderful.
has been a, like, he has been a DM, and
I think Gilberto
El
Silva.
Neni.
El
Mention
Neni.
them. El Neni.
Gilberto
Well,
Silva.
Useless.
well, Guendouzi.
Guendouzi.
Good.
I think Fabregas. Right, Fabregas was also
Mm.
like a DM
Okay,
like
okay.
for
Fabregas was more attacking, but
More attacking, more
yeah,
eight.
Fabregas was more 8 than 6. So let's even look at this. Patrick
yeah,
Vieira, El Neni, Gilberto Silva, Guendouzi. Charlie,
yeah.
you guys still have Saffield. What is this?
Yo, El Nini, you know.
Yeah, but, and
El Nini.
even now, Thomas Partey. Uh,
Xhaka, too used to
yeah,
be a
Xhaka.
six for them
You know,
before
so
Arteta.
look at the type of DMs you guys have played over the years. It's rings the aggressive ball winning DMs. Do
But
less
City, stop. I don't
City.
like the way you
No,
are
no, no, no,
conducting
no, no,
this.
no, no. I'm trying to make you understand something. You see, City. We've had Nigel De Jong, we've had Yaya Toure,
Aggressive.
we've had
Aggressive.
we've had Fernandino, we've had Fernando, we've had we've had
All
Hadi
aggressive.
Garcia, and now we have Rodri. Do you get it?
Rodri is the only
That's aggressive.
possession-based midfielder you mentioned.
Yes, and that is what I'm alluding to. That's what I'm coming to right now. So I have experienced both sides. Do you get it? I've experienced both sides. I've experienced the aggressive type and I've experienced the possession and calm type. And
Mhm.
to me, I think I prefer the possession based because look, w- you see, it's like you see more of the game when you are relaxed and using your head rather than running around.
No,
Just
no. I don't think that's a fair assessment.
what do you think? Let me hear. What do you
I
think?
don't. Even though, yes, tactically, you probably have to be more apt to be playing a possession-based system because you have more of the ball. It's not easy for the likes of Kante and who is that? I mean, Casemiro to constantly for 90 minutes be reading the game and intercepting the ball, not as that being their only job, but to then facilitate at counter attacks and so on. We talked about the style of your team. Your team is a heavily possession-based team. So that's why you need a Rodri in your team. But me personally, Kante can survive in City. Rodri couldn't. So I don't think Rodri can survive in that Chelsea side or a Manchester United side because he only has that possession-based part of his game.
But Rodri came from Atletico Madrid.
Once again, as the DM of Atletico Madrid, the DM of Atletico Madrid, do you know their DM? If we mention Cookie, these are not aggressive guys. Because of the team around them, they play 4-4-2. Before the DM has to make a tackle, a tackle and be around the game, the pitch, somebody has already won the ball. You are probably playing a long ball for Savage and Jimenez to deal with, or Cookie, or what's the I forget the other guys there. Saul are workhorses in the team doing the work. So as for the to be the six of Atletico, it's just to be in position to clear the ball or to just play a long ball for the likes of Griezmann and stuff to work. When it comes to City, because you guys are wide and highly, like you guys make the pitch as big as possible. So you need Rodri to sometimes drop in and make a 3-back for Aki or whoever is playing or Guardiola to go. So it's more tactical than Manchester United or Chelsea, where we need because we don't have most of the ball. We need, or it's always a battle for who has more possession. I'll say we need somebody who can win the ball. That's why I think it's better to have those midfielders because those midfielders can also work in possession-based teams. I don't think it's hard to be a DM in a possession-based team because I think it's less work. It's less physical work.
That is where I think a lot of you go wrong. When when you are playing in a possession-based team where you have the ball that is why Ederson suffers a lot. Because when you have possession all the time, the little time you don't have possession, those 5 minute spells where you don't have possession, the type of focus you need in those in those 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Is you need high level focus. Let's look at Ederson like this. He doesn't have to make saves in a game, but the times he has to make saves are times where the ball is in the box. It's like he has to really be on guard to make the saves because they don't really come like that. You
Mm-hmm.
get it? Because the ball will not even cross the defense, but immediately the ball crosses the defense, it means that it's either a one-on-one or is a clear cut opportunity. It's the same for Rodri, a midfielder in a possession based team, because the moment you don't have the ball, it means that you are being attacked. But
Mm-hmm.
with an aggressive CDM, you mostly don't have the ball, so it's like it's something that's normal. But
Yeah,
with
but you have to be positionally aware. If you don't have the ball, you have to
these
know where to be.
these aggressive guys are just running around the pitch. Or that's Kante running around, but with the possession based guys, they you have to be at a particular place at a
Mm-hmm.
particular time. Otherwise, you link the defense to the
Mm-hmm.
strike.
Mm-hmm.
So you the six, if at a particular time you are not there, you've caused the whole team. So being a six in a possession based team requires so much focus because without you the team is almost dead. But with the six in the aggressive six, Charlie, the guy, you can see Kante left wing, you see Kante right wing, you see Kante defense, but Rodri covers the midfield breadth. But hardly we on Guardiola will make Rodri sometimes when we are building, he goes to sit in camp. But Rodri normally will just cover the midfield breadth, which is more difficult to do because it's like it's in his control. Danny, what do you think? Let's hear from Danny.
Oh, for me, I agree with him. If you are a DM in the like possession based team, like let's see, like Rodri, like this in City, he doesn't really have like much work to do, and I feel he's
Much to
going.
do.
I feel he's even like your man said, he's so for Rodri going to a team like Chelsea, Chelsea, they hardly like possess the ball. You understand? For them, they are right now. Is trying to do something where if they get the ball, like they are attacking. You understand? So I feel if Rodri should be in that Chelsea kind of setup, he's going to find it difficult. He won't really be like involved like the way he is in City. You understand? So for me, I feel yeah, if you are that aggressive, like let's say for instance, Amrabat is that aggressive kind of midfielder, and he has to work like he has enough like he has work to do much like when he's off the ball. You understand? So for me, I feel Rodri would fit into like a possession based team, unlike he being in like a team where um
Mm-hmm.
get the ball, we are attacking. Get the ball, we are attacking. Get the ball, we are attacking. You get it? Yeah.
He won't survive.
Like we were discussing, possession based CDM to
Mm-hmm.
aggressive the aggressive type of CDM. We've made a lot of discussions, a lot of analyzing. But let's hear from Danny. He has not spoken so much. Let's hear from Danny. What do you think? Possession based aggressive CDM. Which one is better?
Which one is better? For me, I would pick the possession based over the hey, aggressive.
Possession based or aggressive?
So I'll pick possession based over aggressive. So like I was saying, using Rodri as an example, Rodri will fit. I feel Rodri will fit into Arsenal just like he is with City, but with Chelsea for a team like Chelsea, I don't think because we see Chelsea right now their style of play is more or less like you get the ball, we are attacking. You get the ball, just get the ball to Modric. He will do some low running and then
That guy is useless. Oh God.
back.
That guy is horrible, bro. It's
Yeah,
horrid.
But Rodri would fit into a team like us now because we are possession beast. So for me, I would pick a possession beast CDM over an aggressive one. Even though for certain matches it's experience that the DM of the day. Let's see if like you are meeting a team like maybe Liverpool, and then you are a team that mostly sits back. You have much work to do off the ball when you are an aggressive CDM. You understand? But if you're a team that is attacking minded, like City, like Arsenal, I feel you have more work, to do, like more passes to string along to get the wingers and then connect the attackers for goals. So for me, I'll prefer a possession based midfielder to that of the aggressive ones.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like 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 we are still discussing. You see, I feel like there are some qualities a CDM needs.
Mm.
As I think let's look at this in a team or on the field. You see, look, first of all, we are all players. We are the three of us. We are all players.
You
But
having
I'm
to
not.
retire.
I'm not.
You still be
Look,
player.
I'm still playing like
I'm not
revenge
a player.
season.
Yeah, what?
I'm a baller. I'm not
Share?
a player.
Them
See your
boost.
man. See your man.
Yeah, but we are all players, so we understand what we are talking about. Yeah, but uh, let's look on the field of play of all the positions. The link or the blood, the lifeline of the team, we know is the midfielder, the six. Because on a day where your six is not effective, you are going to really suffer. Because unless you are a Stoke City or a Burnley, not this Burnley, there's Sean Dyche's Burnley,
Where's
hmm,
Brom?
or yeah, that you just launch. Even when you launch the ball, normally after the first header, it's your six that responds to the dead ball quickly. So the type of six you play in a team really matters. With I can understand with the aggressive CDMs. Yeah, they retain the ball, they get the ball back from attackers, they halt attacks and all of that. But sometimes that adrenaline, that the rush at which they used to play, they run around like Kante like this. All these things, I feel like you can do it for about 60, 70 minutes. Then in the last part of the game, they really get them. Look at Casemiro like this. He came to
Kanti.
United, and no,
Kanti.
Kante is a beast. We know Kante is a beast.
Okay.
But we are talking about the normal aggressive midfielder. Because Casemiro, sometimes you'd realize that Charlie, the guy, because he has run and run and run, then he just starts getting into unnecessary tackles. Then he starts getting red cards because of that aggressive nature. So he relies more on his strength than on, let me say, his mental capacity. You get it? But in the modern game, I feel like that type of CDMs they are gradually phasing out. Because now you need people who can link up play. You need people who can actually make runs into the box. You need people who, after making runs into the box, can come back, retain the ball, and still do it without exerting so much effort, like so much strength. They should be able to be wise. Your tactical fouls, like those things. So what do you think? Me, I still don't understand this aggressive CDM thing.
First, as a United fan, I don't like this Casemiro slander because we are judging Casemiro this season. We are not if we want to have a discussion of Casemiro, the question of legs don't come into it. This is a guy at the end of his career. So obviously legs will play a part in his career. The Casemiro of old, even as far back as recent as last season, 90 minutes, he's giving you his all, full focus, full mentality, full aggression. 90 minutes. Some of his red cards last season were very controversial. I find it funny you are talking about red cards when your so-called possession-based midfielder
Oh
who
yeah.
is
Look,
currently
that is
is
a
kind
different. That's a different
yeah,
look. Yeah,
fine. No,
honestly,
but I said
I'm so disappointed in Rodri. Like what he did, it was a moment of madness, and I'm so sad because we have Arsenal to play
but
on the 8th of October. What?
this is the life and personality of a DM. In my opinion, Rodri's own
No,
was
no, you see, it's
indisciplined.
different. It's different if you do it on a tackle, but when you were the one who was fouled,
The
why are you
ball.
going to why are you going to hold a guy?
Oh yeah, it was a
What?
lapse. It was a lapse. We are all human beings at the end of the day.
Come
But
on.
I think Casemiro is a legend, and I think we need to recognize this. When Casemiro, once again, you're talking about deep runs into the box numbers. I think Casemiro had better numbers than both Partey and Rodri last season in terms of goal contribution. This is somebody we laugh at and we hail Partey or Rice or Rodri as the
Even
best DMs.
this season, we are seeing that. Like his
Yes,
awareness in the box is mad.
against Bayern, 2 goals.
Awareness in
I
the
think
box.
he's. You have to start putting respect on his name, and he's doing it whilst others are in their prime. He's doing it more than them. Once again, I'll say my preference of aggressive midfielders is solely based upon the fact that I think aggressive midfielders can play in almost every team, every play style, because they can tone it down and be that facilitator and that sharer. On the contrary side, I do not think that ball play, just possession-based midfielders can transition to a team that requires them to be aggressive. We look at Man United, we look at Chelsea, we look at Tottenham, we look at a bunch of other teams. Look at Bayern. Every team, we look at Real Madrid. There are a few teams that play the type of possession City and so-called Arsenal, City small boys, Arteta, Pep small boys. But yes, you will put Arsenal in that bracket. They are very different. No, I don't think Arsenal is annoying me to say, but I don't think anybody is playing possession football like them. I think everybody else requires at least a balance or an aggressive midfielder. When you look at all the other top teams, Bayern have that double balance of the aggressive one, which is Goretzka, and the more deep line playmaker Shearer, which is Kimmich. But Kimmich can also be aggressive at times. Then there's Kamavinga or Chouameni, who are the more aggressive guys. Bellingham can also be aggressive, but then in this new Real Madrid system, this temporary system, he doesn't need to be aggressive because he's higher up the pitch, so he doesn't get involved in most of the CDM work. And in United, we see how Casemiro was effective for us. If not for Casemiro, we don't make it into the top 4. We don't win a trophy this season.
That trophy you won. Don't count it because there
It
is
must be
something.
silly. If not for Casemiro, we would have. But yes, granted, Rodri also won City the Champions League, so an argument can be made there. But in the bigger picture, I do think that possession-based midfielders are system players because they only thrive in system. I'll give you a perfect young example. He's not a flop yet. He has not improved yet. Caicedo is a system player, and that's what people need to understand. Say that again.
They're work in progress. There's
He's a work in progress, so I don't want to just throw him under one category. But Caicedo is a system player. Caicedo is that sharer, that possession-based midfielder who tackles sometimes. But people jammed on the bandwagon too fast to call him a good DM, an all-round DM. When you look at Brighton is one of the lesser teams in the club, I say, that play a big club's possession game. I think there was a start last week. Obviously, a defensive mistake led to Bournemouth scoring this weekend. But last week, I think they were the only team in the league at this point in time that hadn't kicked a ball, like a goal kick, just kicked it upfield for somebody to hit. That's a big team start. They always start on the back. So when you are looking, I always take possession-based midfielders with a pinch of salt. Because then again, you don't see Rodri doing what he does for Spain. Let's be honest. You don't see what he's doing in Man City for Spain. So it's heavily dependent on what is around you. If your system is heavily possession-based, obviously, yes, we don't need that aggression. But I'd rather have that aggression there to be unlocked at times than not have it at all. So that's why I think Kante and Casemiro will always be more respected to me than Rodri, no matter if you even remove all their trophies and their accolades. Because I think those guys are transferable to different systems. But Rodri and Busquets have to be in a possession base because they can't do the dirty work. Busquets couldn't play in Atletico, if we are being honest. Because it will be, even though Rodri played in Atletico, if Busquets played in Atletico, it will be more physical work. Because we see at least Busquets, Rodri does a little bit of work. Busquets on the defense side, he doesn't do much. He's just smart enough to know where to be. But in other teams, we would need your brains and your awareness, of course. But we also need you to be aggressive. So I rather have two sides of the coin than one side.
I get what you are saying. But like I was saying earlier, you see, with this being accepted thing, don't you think it's because of the exposure of a lot of football fans
being accepted as now?
So the reason why Kante, Casemiro, Makelele, this Essien, Mikel, the reason why these type of DMs would be accepted worldwide and by a lot of football fans, isn't it because of the type Yaya Toure, like isn't it because of the type of DMs these people have been exposed to, these fans have been exposed to over the years because of the teams they support? Because when I wish we had a Barca fan for today's recording. Because when you look at Barcelona, a lot of Barca fans our age wouldn't remember any DM they had that was not possession based. Of course, currently Romero, that guy is. So let's take him out of the conversation. But you'd realize that a lot of Barca fans would not rate these aggressive DMs because of the exposure because of their exposure over the years. That's what I'm saying. With this possession and aggressive DMs, when it comes to acceptability worldwide, obviously those who have had these aggressive DMs are obviously going to accept like DMs. That is why a lot of Barcelona fans will see Rodri and be like, yeah, Charlie Rodri is world class, what he's doing, because they see what Busquets used to do and they see Rodri doing it. They see Pep Guardiola coaching Rodri. So they see similarities. That is why recently Declan Rice, he has moved to Arsenal recently in his interview, and they asked him who does he want to like play like ultimately, and he was like Rodri.
Oh, how him too? That's what when he sat down and thought that's who he said.
That's why I'm telling you that you see right now where pardon?
That's the ambition.
Oh no, it's not. It's not about that. It is like I'm saying. Is the exposure? Do you get it? Is the exposure? Because right now, when we are talking about strikers, let's talk about strikers. Chelsea fans would immediately want someone like Drogba. Would want those aggressive type of strikers.
Jackson is like Drogba.
Jackson is like Drogba. Do you get why they like him? But look at
they
City.
Don't like him. Who told you they like him?
They like no, they don't like him right now. They don't like him because he's not scoring.
He's not.
But after the first game against Liverpool, we were all here when everybody was hyping Jackson.
I
So
don't know the we. The we you are talking about is Menkang. Really, I
yeah,
don't know the we.
but I feel like a lot of it has to do with the exposure of fans. So when it comes to acceptability, but I want us to look at it from an objective point. Let's look at what they actually do. So let's see what a CDM, what is required
Okay.
of, what is
Okay.
really required of a CDM. So let's say, so the CDM position, what is required? I think the first one has to be, so basically you are the link.
Yeah.
So being the link means that you should be able to receive from the back and send to the front. And in 10 situations, when the front is coming, you should be able to receive and go back and start again. So let's with this first one, let's compare both sides, aggressive and
Okay.
the
I want us
possession.
to also look at this factor when comparing the two, because to me, ball carrying is very important. We all can agree before we start that possession-based midfielders don't carry the ball as well as aggressive midfielders. This is a fact. So when you are also analyzing your team, like you said, with, let's say you're playing out from the back, obviously it's a risk, but you want that six who can turn and drive. Perfect example, Bissouma.
Okay.
A little drop of the shoulder, he dribbles the 10. All of a sudden, there's a wide gap for him he can go to the wide, to the wingers. He can drop it to the striker who comes in deep. He can turn the long diagonal. Possession-based players will only send the Rodri, perfect example, will give the ball back to Rodri, Edison, and then reset the whole team. So that is also fine. That's a safe option. But then when you look at it, aggressive style players tend to take hold of when they are on their A game, they tend to take hold of the game. If you look at all the legends, you look at Kante, how he used to just carry the ball forward for Leicester City and for Chelsea. Look at Yaya Toure, one of the best Premier League midfielders in the world. When it comes to ball carrying as a midfielder from deep, I honestly don't think there's any better. So the question we have to ask ourselves in this debate as well is, who has the better traits and the better technical abilities? It's without a doubt that possession-based players are probably smarter in terms of brain capacity and brain use. But who does more for their team? And we'll see what Danny thinks, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, Danny, let's hear from you. Seven as the link, carrying the ball from defense to attack, break it. Who do you think is
So
better,
from
the defensive or the aggressive?
I
The
feel
possessive
possession
or
based, midfielders are better at linking play, like taking the ball from the back and then progressing it. They are basically the link. They are that link between the defenders and then the midfielders, right? So they take the ball from the back and then distribute it to the midfielders, like to who is available. Yeah, so for me, I feel the possession-based DMs are better at linking play from the back to the front. But for the aggressive, the aggressive guys, like Casemiro is not that guy. He's not that kind of player that would if he gets the ball, he's either giving a long pass, or like he finds it quite difficult, linking play from the back, and then to the midfielders. So that's the disadvantage for the aggressive kind of midfielder. So I feel it's the possession based guys who are better at linking play, taking the ball from the back and then progressing it, like Bissouma, like Rodri, and then even Declan Rice.
Hey, Arsenal fan.
then no, those slots right
Then
into
no,
it.
they just want to put in. Hey.
That's wonderful. Okay, so now let's look at another thing. So as a CDM, you should have awareness.
Mhm.
So let's look at who has more awareness, because being aware is basically so you should have like a 360 degree
Awareness of
picture, a
everything.
360 everything happening on the field. Do you get it? And I think with this one, it's safe to say, with an aggressive, in my opinion, with an aggressive CDM, it's difficult to be aware, because you don't. Being aware means you should be able to reason and picture what is happening. And I don't know, maybe if you would have any objections, but I think for aggressive CDMs like Casemiro, Amrabat, let me mention them, man, you guys, let me prepare them. Yeah, but for these type of aggressive CDMs, I really think they are not able to picture what's happening around them so much, and that's why they get caught out a lot of the time. But with possessive CDMs like Busquets knows what is happening behind him. So
Yeah.
before the pass even comes, he has watched left, right.
Yeah.
He knows what to. Right now right now I'm called Black Rodri in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
So so when you see me, call me
Guy,
Black Rodri.
this guy.
Man, them big prick. See them prick.
Boys, they talk.
Uh,
I'm called Black Rodri. When you come to my neighborhood, don't even say you are looking for Wayne. You are looking for
how-
Black Rodri. They'll bring you to my house.
So now they play six.
Charlie 6. So yeah, but yeah, you should let's go back to the point. Yeah, but you should be aware. So I feel like the possession based CDMs, they have enough
Mhm.
time to picture the whole
Yeah.
field. What do you think, Sam?
Oh yeah. I mean, without a doubt, you mentioned Busquets, press resistance, God, honestly. So with him, his awareness is next to none. But Rodri is not press resistant. We already talked about this at the beginning of the show. In the earlier years, maybe more now, but I just think now Man City is a more efficient machine. But in the building of this efficient machine, I used to see when Rodri used to replace Fernandinho, and when Fernandinho is phasing out, I see major problems with Rodri in particular. So obviously he's learning, he's progressing well, but I think he's not there yet in terms of cleaning up, knowing where things are at the right time. So sometimes they catch him he's easy to get the ball off sometimes. Then he has to
Okay.
commit these little professional fouls, which defensive midfielders have to do anyway. But I think that part of his game needs cleaning up. But in the general debate, obviously, possession-based midfielders have more awareness than aggressive midfielders.
Sensational. Let's hear from Danny. What do you think?
oh yeah. So me, like you said, for a DM, you should know what's going on around you, and for certain players like Busquets, as you mentioned, um, before you get the ball or before like he gets the ball, he looks around him to know like so when I get the ball, this is where the next pass is going to end. So I feel possession based players are more efficient with their awareness compared to the aggressive kind of midfielders.
Wonderful, wonderful. So the next one we are going to talk about is conditioning and stamina, strength.
Mhm.
For here, we all know who is going to. We know
Amrabat.
who we are going to. Because when you have people like Amrabat, Casemiro, Kante,
Yeah.
yeah, we know.
You people, I want us to just be watching Amrabat. See the boy, the boy
Ahmad
is
Onana. Ahmad Onana.
Onana. As
The
for
guy from
Everton,
Everton.
you see what
That guy.
the problem. God bless this Dutch guy with another nasty midfield
I'm
to come
telling
and
you, like,
do you see his
ah,
midfield today? Today, I think he was playing 4-5-1. His
I would,
midfield, James Garner, Dukure, Ganagi, Onana,
then
McNeil. Then that Beto guy
Be-
at the top.
Beto was on top.
What kind of
Charlie.
nasty philosophy is this? How can you
Now, didn't you see what they did to Brentford? They nyammed them like
they
that.
won and
They won
him
3-1.
I'm sure that guy, to be on his team, you just have to be a rough. You have to be first. You have to be tall. You have to be strong, and you have to be a ruffian. He doesn't have
Ah,
time for sweet, nice football.
yeah, yeah,
Who fit in the air? Whatever happens, happens. Him,
yeah,
that's his tag, and it's completely nasty to
yeah.
see, but it's
I
working for
enjoy
them.
it. I enjoy it so much. It's brilliant. That's why the Burnley fans are annoyed with Company. I think I have to send. I'm sending you guys a certain a link you can watch. There's one old guy who is so frustrated with Company. He said, Burnley, kick the ball in the air, let them fight. He
That's
said,
all. But soon
but
you
is he
turn
Company? Is he
you
their
turn
suffering?
into.
They are suffering.
Mm,
I mean, for
but
company particular, what he has to understand is he's playing big team football, but he doesn't have the resources and the tools for big team football. So it's like Leeds. It's either you play beautiful and then he wins, or they slap you like five. And then so he has to find a way to solve that problem.
Yeah, but let's go back to the topic. So conditioning, stamina. Of course, we know the aggressive
the
midfielders.
aggressive would be yeah.
Easy,
Mm.
Yeah,
easy.
they have this. Now let's talk about discipline and positioning, which is really important because as a CDM, if you are not disciplined, you've cost your whole team. Like if you are not disciplined, if your positioning is not good, you because your starting position at every point in time is really important for a DM. Because once the DM is out of position, let's talk City. Oh God, I can't believe I'm bringing this back. City Chelsea Champions League final.
But you guys didn't play a DM. Oh,
We didn't play a natural DM, but we had a DM.
my guy, move. You guys
Yeah.
lost they be overthinking.
Oh
Oh,
Charlie,
It's
and they
trying new
caught me.
things.
if
They
you the
caught
same
me in the
Danny,
hostel.
Pep small boy is copying him. Oh. Be careful. I'm telling you.
Eh?
Every day overthinking. You wake up,
Charlie,
Jesus left wing, Inketia, striker, Fabio Vieira, then you move him, you bring Havertz.
Charlie,
We won't talk about Teta.
it's serious, but as a team, your positioning is really important. With the possession based and the aggressive type of DMs. When we talk about positioning and the
to
discipline,
me, both of them have this one. I can't pinpoint who is best with position, but I think for possession based players, when it comes to positioning, they need to be on their A game because they will need so position for getting the ball, position um like um for like assists, and also you must have that position. So you see Rodri, I think for yesterday's game, for instance, he gets the ball, he doesn't stay at one place. You understand? He's always looking for that space, to get
Mhm.
the ball to progress. So I feel for possession based players, your position has to be, you have to be on your A game for that. And then for the aggressive based players, they also need positioning. So for instance, when the opponent is coming at them, they are that link that protects the back line. So if you don't have a good position, or if you are not positioned for any like counter attacks from the opponent, you are gone. So for me, I feel position for both aggressive based players and then position based players are, you need to be on your A game. Otherwise, it will cost you the game generally.
wonderful, wonderful. Let's hear from someone. What do you think?
Yeah, same going off the same tune. I think it's important as a possession base to know where to start, where your team is starting with the ball from, and position yourself to receive and facilitate, as well as being in position to stop or destabilize any attacks going the other way. For for aggressive ball winning midfielders as well is key. It's not just by lack the chance upon the ball and win it. Positioning is a big part of them knowing where to be at which time in order to be able to intercept the ball and then progress it, as well as make those runs into the box to get goals or assists or stuff like that. Then the same as possession based, destabilizing and interrupting passing lanes so that the opponent doesn't get the other way. So I think positioning is key on both, depending on, doesn't matter who you are, positioning is key either way.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now let's talk about one important role of the DM, the ability to read the game. Because as a DM, Charlie, if you can't read the game, yeah, what are you doing there? Like, it's a quite interesting and a quite interesting perspective reading the game, because you need a lot of patience, you need a lot of calm to read the game. Also, you have to be quick about it. You have to be on your feet whilst reading the game. Because you can't stand at one place and say you are reading the game. You have to be moving around. It's like you have to be one step ahead of the game to read the game efficiently. Let's talk about this. So with the aggressive players, how do you think they are able to read the game?
I mean, as an aggressive player, I think it's very important that you read the game to know where to be in order to intercept the ball, where the ball is going, where the ball can potentially pop off to, and then where to be in order to make an effective clearance or an effective tackle. So I think when we look at the likes of Casemiro or Kante, let's say marking the opponent's 10 or the 10 or the 8, it is very important they read the game knowing whether they are late to the 10 and they know he's come to pop it off and bounce it off somebody, so make that interception, or to try and tackle the 10, or to contain and allow their team to drop. So there are a lot of different variations and different decisions to be made in that split second. So it's definitely a talent or a skill to be able to read the game and to know what decision to take depending on the time or depending on what you have around you. When we obviously will talk about the possession based side as well, but I think it's also heavily dependent on what your team needs, the tools your team have, and what your team needs you to do. Some you see some DMs or ball winning midfielders like Kante often find themselves higher up the pitch making tackles or on the wings. But then you look at the likes of Sa from Tottenham or Casemiro, and most of the time they are more centrally focused and focusing their attention on the 10 and stopping anything in and around him. So I think it's your decision making has to be key, because being an aggressive ball winning midfielder also means the potential of getting a lot of cards or getting a red card, which is the worst possible scenario. So to be able to read the game and make sure your tackles are early and properly timed is also a very big part of staying effective and staying in the game ultimately.
Yeah, that's well said. Let's hear from Danny. What do you think?
For me, I think your positioning and then your ability to read the game, they kind of work hand in hand, right? And for a team to be stable, is dependent on the DM. The DM is the heart of every midfield, right? And the DM has the ability to determine the pace of the game, whether the game should go like quickly, or the game should slow down. Everything is dependent on the DM. So I feel your positioning and your ability to read the game. So for instance, you see that maybe there's too much pressure on the team. Like maybe you are defending, right? And then like the opponents are like most parts of the game, the opponents are coming at you. You should have the ability to not only read, but, change the game, because the pace of the game is dependent on you, the DM. And that's a lot of work. So, for me, I feel the possession based players will have a lot of work to do for, to be able to read the game and then change the game. The aggressive based midfielders will not really have much. Theirs would be to mostly, sit back and then, work, off the, like, try to win the ball. But the ability to read the game and then change the game, in the favor of your team is dependent on, that possession based player. And I think the aggressive based players would not, um it will be to their disadvantage, because theirs is to, just win the ball. But if you want to read the game and then change the game, it's dependent on someone who is, possession based, someone who can read and then see that the pace of the game has to change, and that will be dependent on him. So
Yeah,
that's my
that's
thing.
that's that's that that's another wonderful take. Yeah, like you were saying, so for me, the ability to read a game, basically, I use these simple terms. Like, so as a DM, you should be able to predict where the opponent is going to pass the ball. This is tough because a lot of defensive guys have been able to, a lot of aggressive guys have been able to read the ball properly. Like McLeary, you have even Kante. Kante did it very well. Casemiro in his Real Madrid days, brilliant.
Casemiro in his which days?
In his Real Madrid days, he was brilliant. In Brazil, he's also brilliant. I don't know what's happening to him now, but I feel like it's the team. But
No problem.
yeah, the ability to read the game is a very important requirement. Interesting. So let's try and rank. Let's say top 10 DMs in the
All
in the
time.
in the in the 21st century. So like from 2000 DMs we have seen play.
Ian Boy
So
Rodrigo. Into the way they smile as if they
oh, I'm
come
saying,
oh Rodrigo.
even for me, Roger might not be in my top 10. So let's see top 10, top 10 DMs
DMs.
in no order,
We know order.
yeah, in no order, so that we don't cause trouble.
One, Busquets. I think we can all
Oh,
agree.
number
Busquets is
for
one.
Busquets, he might be number one.
Yeah, I think Busquets is one.
Yeah,
Um, I'll tip the Arsenal guy here again. I think Patrick Vieira has always been a solid staple in that midfield for Arsenal and for France. I'll put Roy Keane at 3, just because, not solely because of ability, but also because of leadership and what he has achieved throughout his career. It shows consistency and the desire to keep on winning. Kanti, the general himself, at the
Ngolo.
4. Who else? Casemiro. Casemiro is going in there for what he has achieved.
Nepotism.
So Casemiro is not a top 10 DM. Let's be serious, please. Let's be serious. I don't know if this.
This is nepotism.
I don't know if this
But
is
continue.
20. I don't know if he was before my time when I really started watching ball, but I know him to be a very effective, another general in the midfield. Gattuso.
Uh,
Mm.
that guy is a prime example of aggressive.
Aggressive. We didn't even
Come
mention him.
on,
Gattuso is that guy.
Aggressive on and off the ball, and
in
even
case
off the
Gattuso.
field.
yeah, in
Yeah.
case Gattuso is listening, we are sorry we did not mention him.
Gattuso, yeah, Gattuso is that guy. I think he also, on his day, I don't think anything is getting through the team if he's on his A game. Then we'll go Makalele. I think
Yeah, sure.
he's the one who really created the CDM role.
Yes, that's true.
Before we started calling it that. I think his legacy is undisputed. And then for all Ghanaians out there, we have to do it for ACN. We'll put him there as well. During in his prime, I don't think anybody was touching him, honestly. So what was that? Eight or
Yeah,
nine?
eight.
Eight. I'm struggling to find my last two. I'm struggling. I think Fernandinho would be in there only solely because I can't think of too many right now. I don't think Fernandinho did it for long enough for me at City. But in terms of what he did at City, I think it's definitely some of the best like midfield work I've seen. And then five. Struggling. I'm a more modern day guy. I just thought of a guy who wasn't in my time, so I won't mention him because I just watched highlights. But I really rate Kimmich. When
Kimmich.
when a few years ago when Kimmich came to the Rex, he was also another guy. Honorable mention to another Bayern DM, Javi Martinez. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
I really,
That guy was some stiff guy.
yeah. I really like that.
I
There was
remember.
no joking. Yeah. So that's my thing.
Wonderful. That's a good thing. Although there's some nepotism there, but
Yeah.
we'll take Danny. Let's hear your 10, your top 10 DMs since of in the from 2000.
I'm a modern day guy, so I'll go with my modern day DMs.
That doesn't mean come and be mentioning some names. I won't mention the names. I'm waiting.
Some names
If
will
you
not be
mention, we'll
permitted.
judge. If you
Yes,
mention, we'll judge.
some names will not be permitted.
It's your list, but we can remove some names. Be careful.
I hear. I never thought I would come to love Rodri because
Beautiful.
I've never liked Rodri since Athletic, and even in game, if you see, I'm mostly this career mode kind of player, and I would never even imagine buying Rodri, to be in my team. But we've seen his works, and in fact, we've seen Guardiola's works, in Rodri. So Rodri is my number one, and Declan Rice is my number two.
We are removing it. No.
The client is
How?
there
Hey,
some way.
2-3 years football. And Charlie, no. We can't
The
accept
client.
that. Come on.
All right, so Declan Rice and then Patrick Vieira will be my number three, and my number four would go to, in no particular order. I'd rate N'Golo Kante. My number five, I'd rate Casemiro. So Casemiro will be my number five, and then my number six, my Ghanaian brother Thomas Partey will be my number six.
Partey before he's in.
So Partey before Eastern. Hey Charlie, that's serious.
Charlie, that be serious. How you go choose Partey? Partey is good, but he's inconsistent.
That's
all the midfielders we mentioned are more consistent than Partey, but it's your list. Even though it's we can see what you are doing here, but we'll allow it.
proper
nepotism.
You thought if you think mine is
watched Isian play. It was just was just the name that Isian. But I never really, maybe at that time I used to watch him, I really never understood the game. It's now that at least I've caught up with the game, and then I know what it means to be a DM. So Thomas Partey is my number five. Just that he's inconsistent, like I said. But if Thomas Partey is to be consistent, we'll see his works. So my number six is Joshua Kimmich, and number seven, my number seven.
You haven't mentioned the king of DMs. We are waiting.
Who is that?
He has already mentioned Rodri, so
You are silly.
I
Press,
think
press
Busquets.
the press resistant god is not
Casemiro.
there. Oh, how?
How?
Now,
How? Busquets.
Hey. But my number seven will be Bisuma. Bisuma is 7, and number 8,
potential,
yeah.
potential.
Number 9, Zambo.
Danguisa.
Anguissa. Oh, Charlie, why?
I
No,
will leave
that's
that.
why. That's why you
Oh,
support us now.
Charlie, how you go fit say this? Them busy use your DM all
Hey,
time.
all time
Zambo
top 10.
Anguissa.
Oh,
Charlie,
how?
if I sack this guy.
No. How?
Oh, Zambo Anguissa. You now as they talk the name in the view.
oh,
That's
number 10.
crazy.
Number 10 will be. Uh, I think that I don't know. That'd be all. That'd be all. For old time's sake, it's just Patrick Vieira, and then Yaya Toure. So Yaya Toure, Yaya Toure,
Do
man.
it,
Yaya
do
Toure,
it,
Brilliant,
do it.
Yaya
brilliant,
Yaya
brilliant.
Now you,
Yaya
Okay,
what's your top 10? You win.
my top 10. Yeah, so I'll
Black
go
Road.
with Busquets. Yeah, okay. If they were adding local players, Black Rodri, which is me, but this one is
See this guy, this is joke
internationally
man.
recognized players. Yeah, but I'll go with Busquets. Uh, I have Mikel because I like Mikel because
Obi
he
Mikel.
doesn't. Yeah,
Yeah,
he doesn't have any.
I'm, I'm mentioning Zambo. Yeah, you guys talk
No,
about.
no. Look,
What has Zambo and Guisa done?
look.
No,
No,
he's
easy. Mikel was effective. Mikel will
so
be. He will do the job.
Zambo won't do the job.
Not really.
What has Zambo
Zambo,
and Guisa
what
done?
has
Now
he
the
exactly? What
talent
has
is
he done?
Zambo and Guisa.
Zambo has not done anything,
What has Zambo
but
and Guisa done? But Obi Mikel, too sideways and backwards too much. He can't progress ball. But
mine is he does the job. He was effective.
he was
He
good. He was.
when given a task, he does it. He executes it with perfection. Then I'll go with Yaya Toure, of course. Then Patrick Vieira, obviously. Then Daniele De Rossi. I really like that
Yeah,
guy. I really
honorable
like that
Man,
mention.
guy. I think because we were not watching a lot of Italian football, so we
Syria,
really did
yeah.
not see what he was doing. Then of course Kante, Casemiro, obviously. Schools, I liked schools. Although schools
He
was not
rarely.
a
I wanted to put
typical,
him.
yeah, he
He
wasn't a
rarely
typical
plays.
six, but I like schools. I like what his schools was really intelligent. A lot of people fail to realize how intelligent post. And even though I really don't like United, I wish they are relegated. I wish the team
Your
is
club, you are
extinct so
just sad.
that.
Your club doesn't have history, so it pains you. It's okay.
the
But I,
historyless.
I'll I'll pick a club without history to one making history now than not having a Champions League. But that's another discussion for another day.
See your man,
What is
One
what
Champions
is
League, and you don't know how to talk.
Do
Hey,
ah?
you know? Do you know what it means to have one Champions League? You
yes,
might know. You might know
yes.
what it means.
Let's be
I know
serious.
what it means, but not everyone has the opportunity to know what having one Champions League means. So, yeah, that then I would also go for Rodri. I feel like with Rodri, he's still growing into the position. There are some positions like the goalkeeper,
Think
like
himself
a
is still growing.
CDM. There are some positions you grow into, like you Busquets, as he was growing, he was aging like fine wine, that thing. So I feel like Rodri will really grow into this position, even though now he's doing exceptionally well. I think he'll still grow into this position, and we'll see in some years to come. We'll start compare if he continues to keep his cool and stops doing things like he did yesterday. I think Rodri will also be a formidable DM in some time to come. Yeah. So basically, that's it for today's episode. It's been wonderful having you guys. It's been wonderful for all the viewers. We appreciate you listening this far. We hope to bring you more content in the next week. Thank you very much.
Bless, John.